Yo, what's going on today, guys? So we're in one of the most diverse metas we've ever seen since Space-Time Smackdown. So we have stuff like Darkrai Greninja, we have Snorlaxes, dude, we have just Giratinas, Incineroars, Charizards, Arceus, Crobat, Carnivines, Garchomps, Rampardoses. We just have a lot of decks, but even though we are in one of the most diverse metas, literally the only deck for some reason that I could play is literally Decidueye meowscarada. I have tried out all of these other decks in ranked, and for some reason, no matter what I do, I brick. I play Arceus Carnivine, I start Arceus going first. I play Greninja Oricorio, I never see a rare candy. The only deck I swear to God, I literally could play is Decidueye EX. So after having two extremely bad performances with Snorlax Giratina at tournaments, literally never finding either Greninja or my berry, I decided, bro, I'm just going to play Decidueye only for the rest of the season in tournaments and in ranked. And yeah, I just made top 3 actually at this tournament, so let's get into it. So as you can see here, bro, third place we have me, Decidueye meowscarada. One thing to note is I'm the only person with only one loss, because when we actually made it into Top Cut, I was the only player to be 6-0, because Top Cut was it was 6 rounds of Swiss, and then it was immediately into top 4 Top Cut. So I was undefeated until top 4. Obviously, I got third place, so I obviously lost once we hit top cut. Very unfortunate. We will get into that obviously once it's the end of the video. But now let's talk about my deck list. So this is the deck I ended up bringing, and I know I just uploaded a video a couple days ago talking about how I really like the 2 Decidueye line. So the reason I actually switched off of the 2 Decidueye line and I'm now on the 2-1-2 meowscarada line and then the 1-1-1 Decidueye is basically I've been playing ranked, dude, and in this like 1500, the like 1600, the 1700 range, I don't know why every single person is just playing Greninja or Oricorio, and I think that's personally one of the worst matchups for this deck, because it's very hard to kill Greninja with meowscarada because Ira doesn't, even the Shamans. And because the Shaman, bro, Rowlet is literally useless if they just have Shaman from the start. So I basically switched to this version because I just wanted the more support cards, and yeah, it's as simple as that, dude. Basically, 2 Decidueye wasn't really cutting it anymore because Oricorio is just that. I hate that brand, bro. I'm gonna be so real. Anyways, yeah, like I was saying, bro, we now play the 2-1-2 for the meowscarada line. Also very nice in case I can't get that rare candy for a second meowscarada. I could maybe get the Florgatsu at some point and then go into it. And we just have the 1-1-1 of Decidueye. I know some people like to only play one Rowlet, one Decidueye, no Dartrix, but I really like having the option of finding the Dartrix. I know sometimes it can take away from a Spirito search when you maybe need either the meowscarada or the Decidueye if you already have a rare candy. But like having that option to just draw in the Dartrix and then not wasting your candy and then being able to go in the Decidueye, I really like it. I personally do like it. But you always could cut it in at another support card. Then obviously for the item cards, we have the 2 Pokeballs standard and the 2 rare candies, which is also standard. 2 Professor Research. So there is a deck list by let me pull it up real quick. So there's this deck list by Alex Piney, which I took inspiration from, definitely. And they're currently like top 30, maybe even top 20 right now, and just ranked on the ladder. And they play something similar, but instead of the 2 Ericas, they play a red card. And I was playing in this ranked online. By the way, this is their Twitter if you do want to see it, just to shout them out. One of the probably the best Decidueye player right now. But I was playing around with the red card, and I think it's a skill issue. Personally, I either just waited too long to use the red card. I think I'm supposed to use it right away, but I would like be greedy, wait one more turn, and then use it. But then they'd like use everything. Or I would just draw the red card too late, where they had like 2 cards in their hand. So I'm just garbage at using the red card. So I like 2 Ericas. I think 2 Ericas is low key broken. So that's why I wanted the 2 Ericas. And it's like the red card was the only thing I could cut out. So yeah, I ran 2 Ericas, took out the red card. If you want to play 1 Erica, play the red card. Obviously they're top 20, top 30. They're definitely doing something right. But I think in tournament play, I really like the 2 Ericas more. And then we play the 1 Giovanni. So the Giovanni mainly is to let meowscarada one-shot Oricorio, but also has some other uses. For example, if I attack a Greninja and they have a Shaman will hold them up to 70 HP, which I can then one-shot with the Giovanni. Or not one-shot, but, you know, knock out with the Giovanni. Arceus without a Giant Cape, Darkrai with a Giant Cape, stuff like that. I even had a game last night where I baited their Giratina to attack twice with my Decidueye, so they'd be 110 HP. And then I was able to get the final knockout because they didn't have any healing cards because I Marsed. And then I used the Giovanni to knock them out and actually win the game. So Giovanni has those main uses like the Oricorios, but like sometimes you can win a game just with the Giovanni because your opponent might not be suspecting it. or expecting it, I mean. And we just have the one Mars. Mars is super broken in this format. You don't want your opponents to have cards. Then we have the 2 Leaf Capes. I've seen some builds only running 1 Leaf Cape in place for a Lily. Might be an option to try out, but I really like the 2 Leaf Capes. I really want to see it. I just think the Leaf Cape is super broken, having Decidueye 200 HP or meowscarada at 170. So like when I was like wanting to add the second Erica, it was either cut out a Leaf Cape or cut out the red card, and I just felt like the Leaf Capes were definitely more useful overall for me personally, just because like I said, I don't think I'm the best for using red card. And anyways, yeah, this was the deck list, so I think it's finally enough yapping, and I think let's just go into the games and let's just showcase my run. So my first match was against a Crobat Arceus Darkrai variant that was actually playing a Druddigon and an Oricorio. So as always, I always have the deck list for my opponent we're playing at the top right, just so you guys can like reference it when I'm talking about stuff. Yeah, anyways, I mean, we just simply go second, dude, and we have a pretty good, like, we just started Spiggarito. Starting with Spiggarito is always like the best. The extra out of Arceus. So at this point, I'm like, dude, if I just Spiggarito search, get a rare candy / meowscarada, I'm kind of cooking. We have the Pokeball, which is nice. They just placed on Zubat, Darkrai. We get the meowscarada, dude, and I also have the Mars, which could be useful. They only have 4 cards, so I'm like, oh, I don't really need to use it now. I could probably save it for it later. Second Spiggarito, but definitely nice in case I can't get the rare candy on this Spiggarito. So I could just set up on the one in the back. And I'm just like kind of like looking, you know, all the stuff. We get the Decidueye. Would be nice because we have the Dartrix, but you know, we don't have the Rowlet yet. They actually have rare candy in the Crobat like right away, and at this point I'm like, oh dude, I might be cooked. Because, you know, they will be able to knock out my Spiggarito in the next 2 turns in the active spot. Then they also put a giant cape on this Arceus, which is super annoying because if I actually did get the rare candy, I wouldn't be able to one-shot this Arceus with the Geo. But I get the Rowlet, dude, so I'm like, okay, you know what, man? I have the whole line, not the worst scenario, and I'm like thinking like, I might just have to sack this Spiggarito because like I don't want to swap out and waste the energy. So I'm like, I'm probably just gonna sacrifice this one. You can see I'm debating on what to put the energy on. I'm like, do I put it on Dartrix? But like I can't attack right away anyways. So I'm like, dude, I'll just cry for help, thin out the deck, hopefully get the rare candies. And if not, at least I do have the whole line. You can see I'm like contemplating switching out, but I'm like, that's kind of stupid, bro. Let's just sacrifice him, cry for help, because they can't attack. They do get the knockout of Crobat, but they can't attack because they don't have a leaf or anything like that. So I was like, dude, screw it. And I get a second meowscarada, whatever. Like low-key a Florgrotto would have been kind of nice. Same time, if I did evolve into Florgrotto, Arceus would still knock me out. But they just Pokeball, set up on Arceus, bro. I mean, they use Crobat's ability. Nothing really too fancy going on their side. Just the average Crobat Arceus game plan. And yeah, we just put Spiggarito in, dude. And pray to draw the rare candy as we have the 2 meowscaradas. I think we still have 1 Professor Research in the deck. I think we have like 12 cards still. I don't think we've seen a Pokeball. I don't think so, at least, because we have so many cards. I don't think I've really like thinned out the deck too much. And they're just waiting. They end the turn, and we draw Erica. I'm like, well, that's nice for my Decidueye, I guess, but like at the same time, like that's not really doing anything. And I have the Mars in my hand, and I'm pretty sure I think it was like, okay, well, I have the Mars. Like I could use it this turn, but like my plan was they're gonna attack the Spiggarito. They don't have a Sabrina, so I'm like, okay, they only have 2 Pokemon on the field. I have an Erica and I have the Decidueye. Like if I can just use the Mars, bring them back the 2 cards, obviously the 1 and then they draw, there's a possibility my Decidueye could live this. You know, they are going to do the 30 extra damage from Crobat, but so basically all in obviously the 20 from Darkrai, but I could live if they just didn't have that extra Pokemon, because they would be only doing 110, 130. They'd be doing 160 damage, so I would live. I'm pretty sure, like 150 damage, something like that. I went to do the math, but that was basically my game plan, just the Mars. But they had another Pokemon off the Mars, so maybe I shouldn't have Mars, because I don't know if they could have just been saving it in their hand at the same time. Like who would have known? But Darkrai, Crobat plus Arceus 170 damage, so I just concede. I'm kind of cooked. So the very first set, I do lose game 1. Anyways, starting second once again. This time I actually have Spiggarito lead again. I see the rare candy this time, which is exactly what I was missing that first game. So if I can actually just get in the meowscarada, dude, I feel like this matchup's actually really good for me, as you know, I can do heavy damage to both Arceus and Darkrai. Obviously the Oricorio can be annoying if it does come up, but they are only playing 1 copy in a lot of the Pokemon, so I was like, kind of like praying not to see it. They start Arceus again, which is kind of bad, but I have rare candy, a Rowlet, Sprigorito going second and a Professor Research. So I'm like, dude, okay, like worst case scenario, if I don't get the Meowscarada, at least I have Florgato to attack. And then obviously I get the Dartrix off that Professor Research. I'm like, okay, dude, hopefully I get a Decidueye off the cry for help. So although I don't see Meowscarada yet, which I do actually end up top decking. So I was like, you know what, dude? Let's just go in the Meowscarada. I technically could have went into Florgato because they don't have any healing items, attack the Arceus, and then evolved in the Meowscarada to basically save my rare candy in case I ended up getting another Meowscarada. But I'm like, dude, I probably don't need it because I have the Dartrix, I have the Decidueye. I'm like, let me just knock out this Arceus. I have Decidueye at the end game. I should just be able to win over a Crobat Darkrai. I'm going to be 100% honest. Because I won't have any damage on me unless they like the only damage they could do is the Darkrai chip plus a Crobat, which they obviously don't have the Crobat because they evolved into Golbat. So I get the Arceus KO. Their Darkrai can't even knock me out either unless they get the Golbats. But like I said, dude, I have the Decidueye. Like the Decidueye literally just wins the game because I attack something and then I just guarantee snipe it. And I have the Decidueye in my hand. Can't remember if I placed it down or not, but they don't have any like stuff like Iono. Yeah, I didn't place it down. I didn't really need to because I was, like I said, I was guaranteed the win anyways. Because I guess the only thing they could have put in, they could have put like an Oricorio, but like the Oricorio wouldn't have been able to damage me. I could just attack with Meowscarada. Yeah, I just attack something and then I could just snipe it, bro, and then I just win like that because they don't have like Iono, they don't have Reddit, they don't have Mars. And after that Arceus knockout, like I said, bro, I was just guaranteed. So they're just during their turn. I mean, they're definitely playing it out because they don't know I have the Decidueye, obviously. They do go in the Crobat, but I don't really care. I have the Erica, so even with the Darkrai chip plus the Crobat chip, I won't faint. Then I just have the Decidueye, bro, like I said, to finish it off. And then I even got the Leaf Cape also. So like if I really like, I Leaf Cape in Erica, so just they can't even knock out my Crobat or my they can't even knock out my Meowscarada now because I'll be at 120 HP. And at this point, dude, like it was already checkmate, but this is just even like an additional checkmate, bro, in case like something weird happened. Like they did go into the Oricorio, but obviously you know I could snipe them at the end of the day. But yeah, that's game 2. So now it's 1-1 in this set. And we start going second again. This time no Sprigorito lead though. We do have the Rowlet, but we do have the Dartrix, which is something cool, and we do have the Mars in case we do need to use that. So my opponent extremely unlucky. All 3 games they started with Arceus. That's just insane luck, and this is why. Also, they're starting with Arceus. They're playing a lot more Pokemon than a traditional Arceus Crobat deck, so that's kind of insane. Like we haven't seen the Druddigon once this set. But you know, I don't mind it. I don't mind it personally. They didn't place anything else down. I don't know if they just didn't want Rowlet to snipe it, but you know, I just put the Relief Shape on Rowlet because I have the Dartrix. I was like, oh, I'll probably get the. Hopefully, I'll probably end up getting the Decidueye. If not, you know, it's just nice to have. Low-key, a problem I do have is I kind of be using my Leaf Capes early a lot of times. I just be placing it down. It's because I'm so used in rank to place it down in case I get red carded, but in tournaments I gotta stop that. But we don't have anything. We just have Dartrix, so we attack, and I'm like, well, if I draw the Decidueye, I'm in a pretty good position. If I don't, this is kind of bad unless I can get a Sprigorito in the next couple turns. Yeah, but dude, they don't have anything. I mean, they just have Arceus. And I was like, all right, this is interesting. And then I get a Pokeball, dude. Like, thank God I get that Pokeball. The downside is I don't have a rare candy, so if they actually place down a bunch of Pokemon, they could just sweep through me. And it's like at this point, I'm like, I might be cooked, bro. I might so be cooked. So I actually end up switching in the Sprigorito, because if I don't get the rare candy, I literally will just lose. So I cry for help, and I have like a lot of things. It was either the Decidueye or the Sprigorito. I'm pretty sure I had everything else in my hand, and I ended up winning the 50-50 getting the Decidueye. If I didn't get that, I probably would have just lost the game. Like 100%. Like, obviously, you know, I still had a draw. I could have maybe went into another Sprigorito. But that Decidueye off that Sprigorito, like swapping in, was probably the best decision I could have made. Because, like I said, if I didn't get that, they actually had Pokemon. I would have just lost the game. And I think the reason they were holding everything, because like I had only Rowlet in my hand, so it's like, well, if I don't have like Decidueye, bro, I'm not gonna really. I actually do end up drawing the rare candy though. Obviously, the Sprigorito did shuffle the deck, but dude, I have a Leaf Cape. I just Mars them also, so they went from 7 cards to 2. I have 2 Ericas. I'm like, at this point, dude, I should just win the game. Like that's literally just what I'm thinking about, bro. Like I guess Oricorio was like the one thing I was thinking of in this situation. I'm like, okay, dude, I'm cooked if they have Oricorio, but at least I have the rare candy. So all I would have to do is get a Spirit Reach though. That's like the one way I would be able to win. Obviously, I only have like, I think I have like one Pokeball still, so I have like 2 options out of how many cards I have left. But they're just setting up on Darkrai. They didn't place. They actually do place Oricorio down. I kind of forgot about that. They do place it down. And yeah, I do top deck the Pokeball. I remember now. Yeah, they do place Oricorio down, which was their 1 out, but I got my 1 out, which was the Spirit Reach. So I have the rare candy, and I have the Ericas. So after Ericing up twice, no matter what they do, they shouldn't be able to knock me out because they don't have a Crobat online, which is extremely nice. So we simply just attack this Arceus, and we knock it out. Obviously, they actually sent in Darkrai. I was kind of surprised they didn't send in Oricorio. But I think in their mind, they're like, okay, dude, he hasn't used a rare candy yet. He hasn't evolved in the meowscarada. He has like 7 cards. He probably has something, bro. I feel like that's what my opponent was probably thinking of. Like, my opponent was probably thinking like, okay, well, let me just go Darkrai, bro. If they don't have an Erica, I could win. And they just concede. I literally think the only reason they conceded was that, like, he has to have it, bro. Which obviously I did have it, so they were kind of cooked either way. Even if they went in with Oricorio, I would have just attacked it twice. So it was kind of checkmate because I had the Erica. So yeah, and then that was set 1. After losing the very first round, I ended up winning the next 2, clutching it back up. So game 2 was against a different Crobat Darkrai Arceus deck. Apparently this is a thing now that's being commonly played, or at least in this tournament. You know, I faced it twice, but this one was playing like the traditional version with the Ilimas and the Kangaskhans. And I actually played against this version on ranked a little bit, and I've kind of been double-headed by Kangaskhan a lot, bro. I'm not gonna lie. So my opponent starts first, which is nice. With the Arceus in the active spot, they just placed on Darkrai. I get Floragato, which is extremely nice. I already have the rare candy, and I ended up top decking another meowscarada, you know, off the press research and the Leaf Cape. Definitely like the Leaf Cape, bro, in case of some like Ilima in the Kangaskhan shenanigans. This is why I just put it on right away. This Leaf Cape was actually strategic and like the other ones. Get the Decidueye though. I actually really wanted those Spirit Reach though. I get the Pokeball, which is like saving grace. You know, they just charge you up on the back Arceus. So at this point I'm like, okay, they probably have Ilima. I get a Rowlet, and I have the rare candy, and I have Floragato, and in my mind I'm like, okay, they have no healing items besides Ilima. Obviously Ilima really isn't a healing item. I'm like, okay, well, if I attack this Arceus, they're probably just gonna pick it up anyways with meowscarada. So I'm like, I could just save the rare candy for Decidueye, go in the Floragato, then meowscarada, and then if they don't have it, I get the knockout still. They Iono me. These Ionos, bro. Obviously wasn't probably for hand disruption. They probably were looking for something themselves. But at least I get another Pokeball. I get Dartrix and Decidueye. I lost rare candy in meowscarada, but at least I can go in the Decidueye. So I was like, well, I guess I'm evolving you, bro. I was like kind of like debating. I'm like, do I Pokeball, put the energy on thing in case I get a meowscarada? I'm like, nah, it's probably not worth it. So I just placed on the Spirit Reach, obviously. And I mean, I might as well just slash. There's no reason, because if they don't have it, I, you know, could probably knock it out next turn of Spirit Reach though, or Decidueye. They have the Ilima, which I'm pretty sure that's what the Iono did look for. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like this just has to be. Obviously, they could have been doing it to find the Crobat evolution, but I feel like the Ilima was probably like more important in that scenario. So they send in this Arceus and they knock out my Floragato, and I'm like, okay then. Not the best position to be in. Not the best position. So I have 2 choices. I could go into Spirit Reach and like evolve, and if they don't have Crobat, I could stall a turn, but they would have Darkrai. So I was like, okay, dude, I just gotta go to the Decidueye because they could Darkrai chip. Because if, like, for example, if I did draw Masquerada, I would be able to stall a turn because, you know, Arceus only does 130, but because they have Crobat / Darkrai, they just one shot it because I don't have a Leaf Cape. So like, I gotta go into this. Why I have 2 Ericas, and if they have Crobat, I just guarantee loss, which is like kind of why I didn't want to go into Decidueye, but they ended up having the rare candy, dude. So I'm just cooked. So it's kind of like similar to game 1, where like the very first game I lost because they had Darkrai, Crobat, Arceus. This time we're going first, so don't like to see that, but we have Pokeball for us to research at least, and we have a Mars too, which is just kind of nice. I'm seeing that Kangaskhan in the active spot. I have the Leaf Cape, which is my saving grace, and we do get a rare candy, which is just super like nice if we can draw into that Masquerada, obviously by our next 2 turns, because Going first, rare candy does suck a little bit just because, you know, you can't attack, but at least still having it is just better than not having it. But they end up using a Pokecom, and I don't know if they're trying to find Arceus to set up, or if they're trying to find like, or maybe they had like 2 Crobats in their hand or something. But they used the Pokecom, and I'm like, okay, interesting. And they only land 1 heads on Kangaskhan, which is like, thank God, just gives me that assurance in case they, like, they could still land double next turn, dude, but like it's not, that doesn't happen that often. But I don't have anything, dude. I just kind of like have to search or Spiggerito, and I ended up not using the Pokecom or like the Mars because like they didn't put down a Zubat. So I'm like, okay, well, they obviously don't have Zubat. Like I could just save the Mars for later. Once again though, dude, they Iono me when I actually had a hand I wanted. But I get the Giovanni, which is nice. I get the meowscarada, I get the Leaf Cape back, I get a rare candy back. That's really all I care about. I basically get almost the exact same hand, I think. Maybe I didn't have the Geo. I can't really remember. But all I really care about, bro, was that rare candy. They do land 1. I have the Erica though, so I'm only taking 60 damage. And because I have the Leaf Cape, they don't have a Darkrai. Obviously, don't have enough energy. I'm like, okay, we just gotta go rare candy. We just gotta go on the offensive. We need to knock this Kangaskhan out. Because we either knock it down 2 turns, or they just LM up, pick it up, and then Arceus is forced into the active spot. And my opponent isn't playing a giant cape, so I have the Giovanni. And they have no more hand disruption. The only one they had was the Iono, which obviously really isn't hand disruption. They were just using it for themselves. And I just happened to get affected by it. But like if they LM up, pick it up, or Arceus is just cooked. Like I just one-shot the Arceus. I have another rare candy. If I can get into another Pokemon, I can have that as an option. But they just Pokeball, bruh. But I'm like, I'm not really scared of anything, but they could have. They just put down Darkrai. They attack a Kangaskhan. They actually, thank God, they just land 0. Because if they landed 1 and they had 2 more Pokemon obviously after the knockout, they would actually be able to knock out my my Meowscarada. So I'm just kind of glad that didn't happen. And then I get a Rowlet in the situation. I'm like, okay, I don't know what I want to set up on. But I'm like, a Meowscarada probably overall is better. Plus, in case if I don't get through Meowscarada, I can just search. If they obviously if they were able to knock me out, obviously they can't in this situation. There's no combination that they would be able to do unless they had a Guzma, which they are obviously not playing, as you can see at the top right. They attacked me. I have the Giovanni, bro. It's very simple. I use the Giovanni. I just attack them. Yep, we simply attack. GG's, and now it's 1-1 because I keep losing these first games, bro. So we have to go to a game 3, which is why this video is probably going to be longer because there was like a lot of game 3 sets. So that's why I try to cut it down as much as possible while still explaining like every single thing in the match. But we get another first lead. We have 4 Gods whenever I candy this time, so that's kind of nice if we can get like 2 Meowscaradas. Rest of Research was one of probably the best like draws I could have asked for in that situation. I put the Leaf Keep. I feel like there's a reason I put the Leaf Keep on the one in the active. I can't exactly remember, but you know, I mean, the Leaf Keep's always nice for the insurance. But we get a second rare candy and an Erica, which I definitely love to see. Once again, though, they Iono me, dude. So like, I can never just have a hand. I can just never have a hand. Although I didn't have the best hand, I won't be honest. But I ended up drawing in the 2 Pokeballs, and I only have 1 basic left in my deck. So I kind of just got a dead card from that, which is kind of annoying. But I do have the Dartrix. I do get the Dartrix. I'm guaranteed to get the Rowlet, and I do get a Professor Research. So like, I had the rare candies, but like honestly, bro, like I kind of like this hand now. So I'm not complaining. They do get the Kangaskhan, and they put the energy on it over the Zubat. So that like made me believe that they don't actually have like Crobat or like a rare candy or something like that. So I'm like feeling pretty good about that. Get the rare candies back. Get both of them back actually. So I'm like, okay. I put the Leaf Cape on Meowscarada just because I think Meowscarada is more important than this matchup. To be alive, because you know we do heavy damage to the Arceus and the Darkrai's, but we get the Decidueye, so we have like the whole line on my hand. I could like rare candy it, but like probably like, no need to, because I won't be able to attack next turn anyways, and they have no more hand disruption, so I can just like kind of like take my time. They actually do end up going in the Crobat, so if they actually put the energy on Zubat last turn and attacked, which I just feel like they should have done that, they would have actually been able to knock me out because they could have Dark Red Shift and attacked with Crobat. Obviously, they would have just knocked me out with the Crobat damage, like the 20 from last turn. But thank God they didn't, because obviously I'm glad they didn't get a free KO like that. But no, now that I'm thinking about it, bro, I forgot they can't actually. Well, no, I still would have been knocked out if they attack, because they can't use the ability, obviously, because they don't have Arceus. But they would have been able to do a Darkrai chip, and I would have taken the 20 from last turn. But like I said, dude, we have Dartrix, we have the Decidueye, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm kind of like debating, like, dude, do I need to swap out? Oh no, I forgot. I get the Meowscarada. I totally forgot I top decked that, but I didn't even see that. I get the Meowscarada. I'm like, okay. Well, they don't have Arceus. I'm at 120 HP. There's no way they can knock me out like next turn, like guaranteed. And I have the Decidueye, so I can attack. Like they're probably gonna swap out Crobat, but then I can just set up the Decidueye, and I can eventually snap the Crobat. That was like my thought process, where I totally forgot I dropped the Meowscarada. I didn't look at the bottom. But yeah, they just swap out for free into the Kangaskhan, which definitely could be annoying if they landed like double heads, but they only landed one, bro. So I'm like pretty chill with that. And we still have the rare candy. If we can get into the second Meowscarada, that like is the option. Which we should have Florgado, so we don't even need the rare candy anymore. But because we have the Decidueye, I'm like, yeah, I mean, I might as well just put the energy on the Decidueye, like it's guaranteed, because like there's a possibility they would be able to knock me out next turn. Because if they get Arceus, they get obviously Crobat chip, the Darkrai chip, or just the Darkrai chip plus like a Kangaskhan landing like a double heads. They get the Arceus, so they just need to land one heads out of two. So like my Meowscarada is going down in this situation, and there's like really nothing I can do about it. Yep, they land one heads. So that Arceus was definitely extremely impactful, because I would have lived, you know, if they didn't have that Crobat damage. But you know, it is what it is. I got very fortunate that they didn't get Arceus early in the game for once. And I have the Decidueye, and I'm like, okay, well, I can either knock out the Kangaskhan, or I can just knock out the Crobat. I heard the Mars too, which, you know, I don't really need because they draw two cards. But I'm like, okay, well, the Kangaskhan, if they don't have Elima, the Kangaskhan is just trapped in place. So I'm like, I might as well snipe the Crobat. I don't want to take the 30 damage, which they do actually have the Elima. So they go in the Darkrai, and they're going to be able to do 100 damage to me. And I have two outs. One, I have a Mars I could use. Obviously, one of the cards in there is a Kangaskhan. But I either, one, just need to top deck an Erica, or because my Florgatsu has that Leaf Cape, I can survive one Darkrai attack. But they actually ended up using a Pokecom, which I don't think was the play. I think this was the wrong play, because now this told me that they didn't have a Cyrus in their hand unless they top deck it. So I was like, okay. So now my Florgatsu play actually does make the most sense if I don't get an Erica. I top decked the Erica, literally the greatest thing in my hand. Or I'd like the greatest thing I ever drew in my life. Shout out to Erica, bro. I always love you. But like I said, I did have the other play with the Florgatsu, and then if I actually ended up drawing in the Meowscarada, this Darkrai was cooked. And I was actually talking to my opponent after the match a little bit, and this draw, like they had two outs. They could either Professor Research into a rare candy Crobat, or they have the Cyrus if I did swap out. Obviously, I didn't swap out, and I had the Erica. But it wasn't the Cyrus that they top decked, bro, so I was kind of like, I had like a chance to win. But they just concede, and yeah, we won the second set. So first set, set 3, bro, we're up against the Beedrill deck, bro. I actually ran into this on ranked one time, and they had double Erica, double Lily, bro, and I couldn't do anything because I couldn't get into my Decidueye, and even with the Decidueye, bro, I just couldn't do enough damage. But we go first. We have Spiririzzo, and then we get the Rowlet off the Pokeball, and like I have Florgatsu and Meowscarada, so I'm like, okay, that's pretty good, because if I get the rare candy, I can just use it for Decidueye. But yeah, they just attack a Weedle, bro. They use Professor Research. They have a lot of cards in their hands, so I'm like, dude, they probably got a rare candy, bro. I'm so cooked. I'm gonna be so real, bro. I'm like, I can try to be greedy, search with the Meowsk or the Spiririzzo, and you can see me debating. I'm like, no, dude, they probably have Beedrill. They probably have Beedrill. I gotta go in the Florgado because I can live either one if they evolve, because they don't have a Geo. So I do that. I just end the turn, and I'm like, basically praying I don't see a rare candy, because preferably knocking out this Weedle with the Meowscarada would just be godlike for me, obviously. But they evolved the Cocoon in the back. I'm like, okay, man, where's the rare candy for this one? They put the Leaf Cape on, which is annoying because if they don't have the rare candy, they still live a hit, but they also have the rare candy. So I'm like, oh, bro, I'm so cooked. And it's the non-EX Beedrill, which is honestly a lifesaver. If this was Beedrill EX, which if they had that, I would have been cooked. I wouldn't have been able to set up this Florgatsu or the Meowscarada to attack. And then I ended up just getting a Dartrix either, and my opponent doesn't have any hand disruption besides Iono. So I'm like, okay, do I really need to use the rare candy? Like, do I save the rare candy in case I get another Spigaritos? Like, kind of like just what I'm like thinking about in the situation. And I only have 70 HP, dude. I only have 70 HP. So I'm like, dude, I might be cooked. Like, I just actually might be cooked. Like, I don't even know what to do in this situation. But I was like, you know what, dude? I don't want my meowscarada to go down. I don't want them to get a free KO. So this honestly wasn't, I don't think this was good either, but it worked. I just switched in the Dartrix. I'm like, okay, well, my Dartrix can take a hit. I can evolve in the Decidueye if they don't have Beedrill EX. But they Cyrus my guy back in. So I was like, oh man, I'm so cooked. I mean, the bright side though is I did 30 damage. And I was able to set up my Beedrill. Or not my Beedrill, but my Decidueye. So I can just snipe them twice. And pray that they don't have a Beedrill EX. Like, literally, that is like basically my thought process. So I get a second Pokeball. I'm like, oh my god, I actually might be able to win because I also get an Erica. So I get the Spigaristo, which I was obviously guaranteed. I place it down, and I have two options. Like, I could stay in with Dartrix and attack, or I could go in the Decidueye, do 100 damage, guarantee this thing's gonna get knocked out. And I'm like, okay. They didn't go in the Beedrill EX. They might not have a Beedrill EX. Let me just guarantee knock this Beedrill out. Pray to God that I have one more turn just to set up one energy on the Spigaristo. Because the meowscarada EX would be, or not meowscarada EX, obviously just meowscarada. They actually have Beedrill EX. And let me just pause this real quick. I don't agree with them just staying in and attacking with this Beedrill. Because if they just switch in the Beedrill EX, I would have never been able to set up this meowscarada in the back. Obviously, I had the Ericas. I had a Erica, but like, I don't know. I just don't agree with this play because now it lets me put an energy on my Spigaristo and go to my meowscarada. So I actually kind of believe if my opponent just switched in the Beedrill EX, I would have been cooked. I genuinely believe I probably would have lost this match. But now I have the meowscarada, which I can swap into, which is just nice because, you know, Beedrill only does 80 damage. I can just do 130. So even if they held, they're kind of cooked unless they have like a Leaf Cape plus like a Lily, maybe. I think then they would be able to live like 2 hits, possibly. I'm not gonna do the math. I'm gonna be so real. But anyways, yeah, I knock out the Beedrill. They have Beedrill EX, which they are obviously gonna attack me. Which they do have a Leaf Cape. So in this situation, I'm like, attacking my Meowscarada should just be good, right? Yeah, they actually with a Lily, they would be able to live 2 hits. I'm pretty sure. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not trying to do the math right now, but I was like, okay, yeah, let me just switch in the Meowscarada. I have an Erica, so I like at the top that the Erica was the reason I definitely went in the Meowscarada because I'm like, okay, they have a Cyrus, bro. Which if they use a Cyrus, my Decidueye will still live a hit. I can just swap back out and have the Erica to live 2 hits. They use an Erica, so actually with a Lily, bro, they would have just been cooked even with the Lily. So that's the math, I guess. But I simply just attacked them, and then this game 1. I really think the biggest misplay my opponent did in this situation was not going in the Beedrill EX earlier and allowing me to set up a Meowscarada. I think if they simply just did the other play, they would have been good because one, they would have prevented me from setting something up, and then they also would have still had that Beedrill in the back. And if, especially with the Ericas, I don't think my Decidueye, nothing I could have done would have been able to, I would have had a 3 hit the Beedrill EX to knock it out with my Decidueye. Anyways, game 1 though, we take those, bro. We're going second this time. Definitely love to see it, but we have our Rowlet start with nothing else in our hand. This is one of the just worst situations to be in, unless we get some lucky top draws. We end up drawing the Dartrix though, so I'm like, dude, bet. My opponent got 5 cards in their hand, bro, and they went first. I'm like, I can't let them just rare candy into a Beedrill, bro. If they do that, I'm cooked. Like, I'm just cooked. I can't let them do that, so I don't. I simply just skill dive. And the 10 damage, man, is cool. If I somehow Professor Research into like a rare candy Decidueye, I would be able to knock them out. Obviously, doesn't happen. I get the Leaf Cape, which is nice, and I get a obviously a Spigaristo, which is always nice. I have the Dartrix from, like, I might as well just evolve brand in case I do end up drawing the Decidueye. I just placed the Leaf Cape in case they Iono. I kind of don't want to lose them. I'd rather just, you know, I kind of like save it in my hand in case they Iono. Do they draw like more cards? But like I kind of wanted the Leaf Cape on my Spigaristo. And I don't mind the Ericas. I really don't mind the Ericas too. But they do Iono, which is like, I'm kind of happy about using that Leaf Cape. And they ended up giving me just an Erica back and a rare candy. So I'm like, okay, bad, dude. I'm going to get a Meowscarada, bro. I'm cooking. And once again, they just evolved into the Cocoon in the active spot. They could like low-key went in the active, but obviously if I drew Decidueye, that would be bad for them. And I ended up getting Meowscarada, and I have a decision to make. I'm like, okay, dude, well, I could bet on them not having a Decidueye EX and get the confirmed KO on this Weedle. Or I could just talk up Dartrix one more time. And in my mind, I didn't think it was worth it, because if they had Decidueye EX and I swapped in, I would never be able to set up anything in the pack again. Which is simply why I didn't do that. And the Iono once again. And I got a second Spigarito, which I'm not mad about. And obviously you can see they did actually end up going in the Beedrill EX off that Iono. They swap it in, which is why, thank God, I did the play of not swapping in Meowscarada. Definitely saved me here in this situation. So my Dartrix won't be able to attack up against Decidueye. Decidueye won't be able to do anything. And I just draw a rare Candy and Spigarito, so I'm like, okay, man, yeah, this Dartrix is going to get sacrificed. I don't want to waste the energy. I'd rather just set up on 2 Meowscaradas. I guess, like, low-key, what I could have done is no, because I would have to put the energy back. I guess if they actually, I could have attacked with, I guess I could have attacked with Dartrix. Because I could just put the energy. No, because I would have had to keep putting it back. Never mind. Well, I guess, you know, eventually when I fainted, I guess I could have put the second energy on. But, like, I don't know, man. Whatever. Like, I didn't need the 30 damage. I didn't need the 30 damage. I guarantee 2-shot them even with a Lily. And I had the Giovanni just in case they somehow would be able to live. But, I have Meowscarada. I'm like, okay, well, I attacked them twice, and I KO them, and then I have another Spigarito, so I'm like, okay, it's either they don't get anything, or I get a second Meowscarada. They have the Erica, and they use it on the back one. Obviously, putting on the Axis one wouldn't do anything. And they still don't evolve it, so I'm like, okay, dude, I knock out the Beedrill. There's a chance I could just win this game next turn. I got a Pokeball. Obviously useless. My Rowlet's already dead. I only have 3 Pokemon. I was like, okay, I was like, now we pray, dude. We either pray for them not to have anything, or we pray to actually get a Meowscarada. That's my 2 outs. That's literally my only 2 outs. But they have an Erica. They have an Erica, man. So even if they didn't have anything, I can't knock them out still, which I'm like, dude, I'm cooked. I get the Decidueye. I'm like, dude, you're the evolution I don't want to see right now. You've been useful like 7 turns ago at this point. And I'm like, I might as well just use the Giovanni now in case I end up drawing an Erica. Or maybe I don't use the Giovanni. I'm pretty sure I do use the Giovanni. I don't think there's no reason not to use it. But I might use it next turn on the low. And obviously I just put the energy on, and not like it really matters at this point. Yeah, I don't use the Giovanni. I don't remember why. I think I should have used the Giovanni, but I mean, the saving grace is like no matter what they go into, they can't one-shot my thing, and it's just the regular Beedrill, which I definitely love to see. It's only going to be doing 70 damage. But we top deck a Florgatso, which I'm like, thank God. So I use the Geo now. Like I said, I could have used it last turn in case I drew like an Erica or something I wanted to use, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. And they go down to 20 HP, and at this point I'm like, okay, I either draw a Meowscarada in the next 2 turns, I'm going to lose this game. But they don't have a healing card, so I'm guaranteed the win with the Florgatso attack. And I'm going to be honest, bro, I don't like facing the Beedrill decks with Decidueye, bro. I don't like it. So I was very happy to be able to actually win this one just 2-0. I didn't want to go to a game 3. I really didn't want to go to a game 3. So yeah, we got lucky, dude. We also did get the Professor Research. I didn't use it because I was already guaranteed the win, but there's a possibility that Professor Research could have got me into the Meowscarada because I had like 4 cards left. So I would have got it hopefully, unless it was on the bottom of my deck, bro. But I probably should have won that game even if they had a healing card. Maybe. Who knows? We take those game 3 or set 3, I mean. So set 4 starts, and as you see from the top right, it's that bird that I hate. I absolutely despise this deck. This is probably my least favorite deck to play against out of any meta we've ever had, because I just think the Decidueye is very bad. The Shaman is extremely obnoxious, but we're going second with Spigarito, double Professor Research. So I'm like, all right, man, bet. At least we have a good start, and we have the rare candy. So I'm like, dude, let me just get your Meowscarada low key, and let me just go off. I see your Froakie start. I'm like, dude, let me get a Meowscarada, and let me just one-top the Froakie if they don't evolve. Just don't give them a rare candy. That's what I'm praying, dude. Because they also don't have a giant cape, so they can't like live it with a giant cape like some other decks we faced against with Froakie. But we managed to get like Spigarito, like we managed to get 2 Spigaritos in our Rowlets, so and we still have to press research. So anything we get is just going to be evolution pieces, which I love. And like I said, praying they get the rare candy. I feel like I've never seen this deck not get Greninja on turn 1 in either tournaments or rank when I play against them. I think this deck is, I don't understand, bro. I play this deck, I can never go in the Greninja. My opponents always get the Greninja. But they went first, so at least they can't attack. Literally the only positive about that match, or this like matchup right now. And the Greninja Shuriken, obviously my Spigorito, they just charge up on Giratina, pretty average. Like I said, at least I did have the rare candy, but we're gonna press the research first. Let's just see what we get. You know, we have a lot of options. Another Pokeball, dead card. We get a second Florgasso, bro, or like just a Florgasso in general. So I'm like, okay, well, I could feel comfortable with just using the rare candy now on the one of the active, because I definitely want to do some damage with this Greninja. I'm also praying they, one, they don't have Shaman, and then two, they don't end up getting a Pokemon Senility or an Irida. Because, I mean, the best situation would literally just be me knocking this Greninja out, because they have two options. They could choose to attack the Greninja, swap out if they have something to swap out to that's not obviously Giratina, or they could just choose to sacrifice it. And they have the Shaman, so I'm like, oh my god, dude. Why? Just why do they always have this? They have everything, bro. So unless I top like a Geo, I can't even knock them out. So I'm like, dude, that sucks. Like, that actually sucks so bad. And obviously, you know, if I draw something like an Erica, they have the Greninja. I do have the Leaf Cape though, so if I was like hoping for an. I do have the Erica. Actually, I don't know why I was like talking about that, but I have the Erica, so like, at least with the Leaf Cape, I can live one more turn. They can't go into Giratina and knock me out. But they could just swap out the Greninja and do it in the next 2 turns. And I have the Mars, but like they have 3 cards in their hand, so it's like the Mars isn't really gonna be useful yet. I'm also not seeing a meowscarada or a Decidueye, or I mean Dartrix or Arceus. I'm like, okay, dude, please. And yeah, they switched in the Giratina. And I was like, okay, this is kind of interesting. Like, I'm kind of surprised they didn't switch into something like Oricorio. But they just, yeah, they switched in the Giratina. They have the Guzma, though. So this is why they switched in the Giratina. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to lose. I'm simply going to lose. Like, my only way out of this is, literally to draw into a Meowscarada top deck. That was my out, and I have 1 out of 6, and I don't get it. I get the Dartrix. I'm like, okay. And okay, I'm actually about to make a misplay. I don't think I would live. I think I still would have lost the game because I already wasted an Erica, and I don't have an Erica in my hand. But I was like, all right, man. If I get in the Meowscarada, I can still knock out the Giratina, and then I could hopefully win the game like that. That was kind of my thought process. I was like, let me just use the Mars, man, because I'll probably get like an Erica that I'll need to use eventually. And I'm going to be 100% honest. So, the reason I did this play is 1, because Meowscarada would one-shot the Giratina, and 2, I kind of forgot I already had damage on the Greninja. The reason I sacrificed the Dartrix is I really didn't think it'd be able to win an endgame, because like in my mind, okay, I'd knock out the Giratina, but the Oricorio just comes in and walls me. Although I'm pretty sure if the Giratina attack and the Greninja Shurikens, like I'm pretty sure they would have knocked out my my Decidueye anyway. So I don't think really I had an out to this game. So yeah, I just think that's like something. Now that I'm realizing it, bro, my opponent had the wrong deck list. They didn't have a giant keep in this. So not that it matters anyway, so obviously I win the set, you know, because I went undefeated and switched like I talked about at the beginning of the video, but I just realized that now. Yeah, so like obviously once they put the giant cape on, like I kind of like knew I was cooked, so I was like, okay, well let's just concede. My Meowscarada can't one-shot them anymore. I low-key could have taken the game. I low-key could have taken that game, bro. If but obviously I wouldn't have done that, bro. Like that's just not, I wouldn't do that. Obviously I didn't draw the Meowscarada anyways. I would have been cooked. But we're starting second with Spigorito. I'm like, all right, this could be good if they don't have the Greninja this time, evolve into. But they start Giratina. I'm like, all right, bet, dude. Dude, I mean, let me just see the Meowscarada. Let me just see the rare candies, and then I just 2-hit this thing. Or if I at least attack it once, I could always swap into the Decidueye at a later point in the game. I see the Froakie place down there. I'm like, dude, I swear to God, if they have a Froakie or Greninja turn 2, I get the rare candy. So I'm like, dude, all I need is a Meowscarada. That's the only thing I want. That is going to win me the game. Pokeball is cool because 1, it thins out the deck, and then 2, it also eliminates a possible grass type from the Spiggarito search. So I was like, dude, please just give me the Meowscarada. Only thing I'm asking for. And ask, and you shall receive. My opponent does have Greninja though. Of course they do. Of course. Of course. So they can't start chipping away, which is like kind of annoying. But like I can't go in their Meowscarada. I just rare candy. And I do some damage, and they're kind of like forced to swap out. And they can never set up Giratina again if they start attacking with Greninja. So Professor Research, definitely a bet. Because at this point, like, because I know they're probably going to swap out. I don't think they're just going to sacrifice a thing. I'm like, let me see the Rowlet so I can eventually go in the Decidueye because I have the Dartrix. So I'm like feeling pretty good about that. Plus I got the Florgato, which is just nice in case I want to go into a second Meowscarada at some point. So I don't have to waste the rare candy. Because, you know, I have all the stage 1s. I don't need the rare candy anymore at this point, which is just always a nice thing to see. As sometimes you do get those rare candy games where it's at the bottom of the deck. And yeah, we just simply attack DW Erica up next turn because they're probably going to swap out for Greninja. And possibly attack. I'm not just going to Shuriken and start setting it up. But that was just like the philosophy that I was like thinking of. Yeah, they just Professor Research. Obviously, they do swap out and they put Greninja in. And yeah, I'm like almost like certain. I'm pretty sure they just attack because like and like even in my mind, I'm like, okay, well this Giratina is useless, bro. Because at any point a Decidueye can come in and snipe it. Really, no reason to set 3 turns up. It's just useless. So they start attacking, which can be obnoxious, but I do have the Erica, so this Meowscarada can live 1 more turn. Which other rare candy, like I said, bro, doesn't really matter. And I ended up putting the energy on Dartrix, like I said, because I want the Decidueye, because I want to actually end up sniping this Giratina, just get out of the way eventually. Oh, we just Erica up, dude. We attack this Greninja. We just pray for no potions, no shamans. Because, you know, best case scenario, we do just 2-hit it. Pokemon Center related, though, I'm not surprised. They had like 2 million cards in their hand. And I would have Mars them. Because they had a lot of stuff. But like I had to use the Erica or my Meowscarada would have fainted. So it's like, it's whatever. I just placed on a second Giratina. But I was like, dude, I'm like, they're never going to be able to charge that up. Like, I mean, they can charge it up, definitely. They can't stall if they get like another Oricorio or something. Or like another Froakie. But like, it's going to take them so long that I'm probably going to just find the Decidueye and then I should just win. Yeah, so they don't even attempt to just charge up. They just attack, which I think is the best play. I end up top deck of the Leaf Cape, bro, which is actually super, like, just clutch. And you see me hovering over Dartrix, where I could have put it on Meowscarada, went to 40 HP, then went back to 90. The reason I'm putting it on Dartrix, because they could have Greninja Shuriken and then Cyrus my Dartrix out, and then that would prevent me from being able to snipe the Giratina. I was like, screw it, bro. I just want to guarantee my Dartrix lives. I'll use the Erica on the Meowscarada so that they can't snipe me and get the free KO and then attack something else. And that's exactly just why I did that play. But they knocked me out. My Florgato does knock out this Greninja in return because they didn't have another healing card, which is definitely a positive. Because if they had a healing card, bro, we could have been cooked. So at this point, I'm like, dude, I'm not seeing any of the evolutions, and I've already used double Professor Research at the beginning of the game. At least I have the Mars, and they have like 5 cards in their hand, so they do go back down to 2. But like, I'm in a good position. But like, dude, I just need to get that Decidueye. I really just need to get that Decidueye to guarantee the one. Because like, they could like swap into something like a Oricorio now, which would be super toxic. Obviously, they won't be able to attack for like 2 turns. And they put Shaman in, and they actually end up putting Oricorio in. So I'm like, okay, dude, just let me get my Decidueye, bro. Like, let me just get this game for free. That's just all I need, man. Because now they're starting to set up on this Giratina, bro, and I'm not liking it. I get Meowscarada, so them switching out Shaman was actually clutch. But obviously, we just attacked them twice, bro, and then we're chilling. I have 3 cards left in my deck, so I'm like, dude, just please let me get that Decidueye, man. Another turn, get a Leaf Cape, no Decidueye. And remember, I only had 1 knockout because I only knocked out the Greninja, so they just sacrificed the Oricorio. They go in with this Giratina because it can't take a hit. I have the Geo, dude, and I'm going to be so honest. I was like, do I use the Geo? Is there a point of using the Geo? Not really. Like I was like, man, I don't know, man. In case they swap in the Oricorio again, like their second copy, I'll just save the Geo for that. But obviously we attacked them and they just concede. Obviously, we had like one card left in the deck. We would have got the Decidueye. But we just had to win about the Decidueye, bro, because bottom of the deck. So third game once again, bro. Sick of these game threes. Going first this time with Spigarizo. Not the worst if I can get a Meowscarada, because I can't just evolve Florgato and then Meowscarada in the next 2 turns. Which I do top deck a Meowscarada, so I'm like, okay, bet. Like I said, they don't have any hand disruption, so I'm like kind of like free just to do that play. But then I personally researched. I got to personally research. They only have Shaman and Giratina. I'm like, okay, well, I dodged the Froakies and I'm dodging the things too, so I'm like in a really good position. And I could have went into Florgato, and you see me contemplating it. You like see me like looking at the hand. I'm like, okay. Like as much as I want to go in the Florgato and save the rare candy, I don't have anything else in my hand. And getting a Rowlet off this cry for help, or even just another Spigarizo would be so godlike, which I actually do get the Rowlet, dude. So I'm like, bet. Because I can just place it down, go in the Meowscarada, get the Shaman knockout. They do put the Giant Cape on the Shaman. Once again, Giant Cape, not on their deck list, but like, it is what it is, for who cares. It was probably supposed to be like, I don't know, maybe they weren't playing Cyrus then, because they've used Irida and Pokemon Center Lady, I think. Maybe they were only, I don't know, man. I don't know what they were playing. Maybe I don't know. Either way, I just for Candy, man, I attacked the Shaman twice. And I could have went into Florgato, attacked it, and then Meowscarada. But the reasoning I didn't is I'm like, okay, well, if they Shaman Hill and then have like a Pokemon Center Lady, I don't get the knockout. So I was like, let me just, or like Shaman Hill and Irida, I mean. So I was like, let me just go in the Meowscarada, guarantee the knockout, because I have the Florgato in the back anyways. I knocked them out. I have the Decidueye in the back. So I simply just attack around the Decidueye snipes and bro, that's just like literally GG's. That's just how the game's gonna go. I just kind of had everything, and my opponent for once didn't have everything, and they kind of ended up wrecking. They used the Guzma. The Guzma doesn't really do anything unless they go into Greninja next turn. They get that free KO. But like I said, dude, I simply just attack them and then I Decidueye. And they can't even attack me obviously because they can't KO me, and then they also can't because if they attack, they would be at 130 HP. I would just get the one shot. But at this point, dude, I have double Meowscarada. I have a Decidueye. Even if I didn't have the Decidueye, they were cooked. I'm gonna be so real, bro, with the way they started. So definitely unfortunate in the last game for my opponent, but they kind of had like turn 1 Greninjas like every other game. So like we take those, and then they swap out, but we have the Decidueye. We just swap it in, snipe them, and that's just GG's. I'm pretty sure they concede. Yeah, they concede, and that is going to be set number 4, I believe. So for the next set 5, we are going up against the Tapulele Greninja Giratina deck that has definitely been rising in popularity. And I think we have a way better matchup out of this than the Oricorio Greninja deck. So I'm kind of happy to see this one, to be honest, because fun fact, Geo also decent in this matchup because you can one-shot the Tapuleles with the obviously with the Leaf Blade. But we start going second. My opponent just has Giratina with a Giant Cape, kind of annoying because, you know, if they attack, I won't be able to knock it out of thing. But we have 2 Spigaritos because we had that Pokeball, and then we had the Rowlets. We have the Decidueye and the Meowscarada. So basically at this point, by the way, finally going up against an opponent that has a Mars again, and they also have an Iona, which can be annoying. But Dartrix is definitely a really good top deck, or not top deck, but a search from the Spigarizo because we do have the Decidueye. So like honestly, like drawing a rare candy and then Meowscarada would just be godlike. That'd like be the best situation. Because my opponent can't attack next turn. They can't attack next turn, bro. That's actually kind of scary. We get Erica though, so I'm like, alright, well, I'm probably cooked. I'm simply probably cooked. Because if they get anything else, my Decidueye will not be able to live a long time. But I get the Florgato, which is pretty nice because I do have the Meowscarada. I mean, the only downside is because they're running Psychic Energy, they literally just attack. Plus they Iona me. I'm going to be real. I kind of feel like the Iono'd. I know they didn't place anything down, but I feel like the Iono was more of a disruption. Just because I was searching. But maybe it was really just because he had nothing. But we get a Meowscarada, but we lose to the Decidueye. So I'm like, oh man, that's so bad. Like the one benefit is we can attack with Dartrix and then go into the Meowscarada if we do end up drawing it, and then we can knock it out like that. But that's like also a heavy ask. And they literally there are, I don't know, give them a godlike situation because now they have 2 Froakies and a Tapulele. I'm like, dude, why? So they obviously attack my Meowscarada, or not my Meowscarada, but my Spiritomb and knock it out because there's no reason not to. I have 2 options. I can switch in the Spiritomb and basically search and stall a turn to get the Decidueye, which is the option I do end up picking because also in my mind I was like, okay, obviously the rare candy was a very lucky top deck, but like if I get the rare candy, I could also stall a turn if they don't end up going in the Greninja, which is exactly what I do. I was like, okay, bet, and I also get the Decidueye. So at this point, I'm literally just praying for no Meowscarada, or not no Meowscarada, but no Greninja. I don't want to see rare candy, because if they do, obviously my Meowscarada would just be cooked. But they don't actually end up having Greninja, so they end up swapping out Giratina and using a Pokemon Second Lady, which is definitely annoying because I can't like snipe them with Decidueye. So they just switch in the Tapulele, they start attacking my Decidueye. Yeah, so they just attack my Decidueye. And we end up top decking a Professor Research, and I'm like contemplating on using the Mars because I really don't want them to go in the Greninja. But Professor Research for some reason, I don't know why. I think I'm just like saving the Mars for next turn. But I get the Leaf Cape, and basically I have to put the Leaf Cape on the Decidueye EX in case they end up actually having a Cyrus / Greninja combo, because you know I don't really want my Decidueye to get swapped or like Cyrus in and then just get KO'd because I would lose the game. So we just put the Leaf Cape on the Decidueye because, like, you know, I just explained why we had to. Then I'm just talking about Meowscarada. And I was kind of hoping they didn't have anything that, like, I was really hoping no Greninja. Because if they don't have a Greninja, they can't actually swap in anything and take a hit. So I was basically banking on them not having a just anything. But they have a Professor Research. I'm like, dude, just let me just dodge a Greninja. That's like all I kind of want to see. And they just start setting up on Giratina, you know, pretty obvious. No Greninja still. I drew our candy, not useful at this point. Like, dude, they have 5 cards. I gotta Mars them, bro. I gotta Mars them. Because they probably have a piece of the Greninja. And I kind of don't want them to give them... I don't want to let them, like, just draw into the piece that they need. It's like, well, at least if I Mars, they go back down to 2 cards. And they would need the... They would need like a god, like, just 2 card combo out of 3. Which they don't get. They just get Tapulele and they just switch out into it. I'm pretty sure they just put a Froakie and then swapped out. And they're just setting up on Giratina again. Good thing is Giratina can't actually attack. If they didn't have the giant cape, what I could have done is swap in the Decidueye, use my Giovanni to knock out the Tapulele. But I have the Erica now, so I'm like in a pretty good position because like if they like try to like do some damage to my Decidueye, I can just get back to full HP, and then my Decidueye will be able to just solo a Giratina. So at this point, I think my opponent kind of knows that they're kind of cooked, but they just go for the Decidueye damage. So I feel like they kind of did have a Mars or like a Cyrus in their hand or something maybe. But we simply just Erica up because if they Cyrus me in, they won't be able to KO me, and if they do, I can just swap back out for Meowscarada, attack, and then go back in the Decidueye because they only have 1 Cyrus and they don't have a Sabrina. And at this point, I don't have to like care about like how much energy I put on the Pokemon anymore because Tapulele is now I knocked both of them out. So they're kind of like forced to send in Greninja because obviously, or not Greninja, but Giratina, because obviously they're playing pure Psychic, so they can't attack with the Greninjas. And I think it's like kind of like too late for a Greninja to be useful, which they do get it, but like I said, because we have 190 HP, like there's really nothing to get it done. Because like if they like Greninja Shuriken, Cyrus me in, I would still live with what is that, like 40 HP, and then unless I drew another Greninja, I would still live. But at this point, my Decidueye, I could just solo the game because, you know, I'm at 170 HP and they don't play red. The only out was them drawing into a second Greninja, but I top decked the Erica to prevent that, so I'm just guaranteed the win because Decidueye could snipe the Giratina, and my opponent just concedes, I'm pretty sure, after I attack them. Yep, they just concede. On to game number 2. We won the first game. Definitely love to see it. And yeah, we have Rowlet start, which is definitely not what we want to see. My opponent has a god hand. They just have every single thing, and I have a Pokeball, and that's it. So I was like, all right. At least I'm guaranteed Spigaristo, obviously, and I have the rare candy plus the meowscarada, so that's like something going for me, you know, that could prevent them from swapping in the Giratina. At the same time, I kind of don't love the C just having nothing. But they just set up on Giratina, and I'm kind of like low-key praying to actually end up drawing into a Decidueye next turn, because I'm like, okay, dude, if they don't have a healing card, I could snipe this Giratina. And then I could just go in the Decidueye. And that's like basically what I'm praying for. Just that like combo. But the rare candy into a Greninja is just something I don't love to see, man. I just don't love to see. I do have the Erica though, so like whatever they target, I can just what's the word I'm looking for? I can just heal it up. Dude, in retrospect, I actually end up top decking the Decidueye, bro. The problem is though, I have a solo Decidueye, and they get attack me next turn. And yeah, I don't have anything else. So if they get actually knocked out by Decidueye, I could just lose if I don't drive rare candy or Florgasso. So that's the scary thing about doing this play. I mean, they're obviously just going to swap in the Giratina. There's no reason not to. I had the Erica though, so like I was like feeling pretty good. I'm like, dude, I have the Erica, like I could just heal up next turn, and I'm kind of chilling. But they yeah, they just attack me, dude. And I end up top decking another Erica. I'm like, okay, I'm like, dude, bet I should just win this game. I'm like, there's nothing that could damage me. So I'm like, okay, well, it's GG's, man. Like I was like, okay, well, bet game 5 is already over. So I just knock out the Giratina. And I get my 2 points. This is the Tapulele. I'm like, okay, man. Like I have the Giovanni and the I have the Giovanni. I kind of forgot about Mars, bro. I went so many games without getting Mars. I kind of forgot it existed, and I get a Masquerada, so I'm like, that's not the worst. That's not the worst. But because I have to injure my Decidueye goes down to 20 HP after the attack of Tapulele, which means a Greninja Shuriken just finishes me off, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm cooked. I draw the rare candy though, so like I have that play, and like I could have switched into like meowscarada and attacked if I had the Erica still, but I don't because I got Mars. So I'm like, well, I might as well just attack to the 80 damage. Like my Decidueye is going down either way, and my opponent's just at a point, dude, where they can just like keep swapping around. There's really nothing I could do. My meowscarada is not going to be able to one shot anything on their field. So they can just like slowly chip me down and swap out, bro. And I'm like, I'm so cooked. Like I'm literally thinking, I'm like, I lost this game 100%. I'm like trying to play it out, bro, in case my opponent like misplays, dude, and like doesn't like put anything in. If I draw my second Erica, maybe I can somehow like squeeze a victory in. But they go in Greninja, I'm like, oh man. After exercising twice, that's not even counting those Pokemon Center ladies or a giant cave. I'm like, there's just no way I'm living this. So like fast forward a little bit, bro. They had the Pokemon Center ladies, they had the giant cave to set up another Giratina because they have Psychic Energy, and I'm like, okay, well they have Greninja and Giratina. I'm just cooked. I'm just simply cooked. So that's just how that second game went. I just really couldn't do anything, bro. They just kind of had every single Pokemon, and they had the Greninja early. So third game starts, but we have the whole Decidueye line going second. That's something. That's definitely something. But because they are playing Psychic Energy, bro, they get attack in the next 2 turns, which I don't like. And I see a Froakie and I see another Giratina. I'm like, dude, out of everything they have, like, I'm fine with the Giratina. Just, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see a Greninja. Pokeball is definitely clutch in case we need to go into it. I feel like what I could have low-key done here is snipe the Froakie. And then, I don't know, like maybe be able to snipe it later, but I end up just attacking the Giratina because like, okay, well, like if I do the 10 damage and then I evolve in the Darkrai, so that's 40 damage, so they can't like Pokemon Center Lady it up. So I will be able to do the 100 still. But obviously they will be able to attack before I can evolve. So unless I top like a rare candy, I'm kind of cooked. I'm not going to lie. I mean, they just placed on the top of the layer. They're just simply charging up the Giratina. Actually, no, they swap out the Giratina. That's what they do. I remember now. And then they Pokemon Center later, so I can't snipe it, dude. If I actually was able to go in Decidueye once again, like the very first game. But I'm kind of like fine with this, dude. Because I have the Giovanni for the Tapulele. Like if they somehow send like another one after this. I was like contemplating switching out and then like searching with Spigorito, but I was like, dude, I don't think it's the wave, because like I lost my last game because I really didn't have anything on my hand besides the Decidueye, but I'm like, I don't know, I feel like in this game state, dude, because they're playing passive now and they won't be able to attack me for a minute and they have no Greninja, I'm like, I feel like going on the offensive with Dart Tricks is just better. I will be able to knock out the Tapu Lele, and then I will be able to you know, do some nice damage on like something before they can attack up Giratina. So like that's kind of like my thought process, and I was like kind of like hoping on just drawing in the meowscarada eventually. They Pokemon Center the Tapu Lele, but like I was talking about earlier, dude, I have the Giovanni to be able to one-shot it, and they actually, I think they misplayed. They put an energy on Tapu Lele instead of just putting 2 energies on Giratina, which means they can't attack next turn. So I was like, okay, I have the Professor Research, which would definitely be lovely in case I could draw into something, but I'm like, I'll probably get Mars anyways. Possibility. Let me take the Geo. Let me get the guaranteed KO, because they can't swap into anything. Like if they swap in the Froakie and they have no Greninja, that's a free KO. Or if they swap in the Giratina, I attack and then I just snipe them. So like in this situation, bro, I'm feeling pretty good. They had the Greninja though. They always have the Greninja. So at this point, I have the Professor Resource, and I'm basically like, okay, dude, I basically just need to be able to draw into a meowscarada and no giant cape on that Giratina, and then I just win the game. That's essentially what it came down to. Or like, at least that's like what my mind like process was like in there in this match. They just put the energy on Greninja to be able to swap out. I don't know why they did that, to be honest. I guess they didn't want me to like attack and like snipe in the Greninja, but like I feel like that doesn't do anything, because that means now they can't actually swap in the Giratina this turn, which I think was another misplay that my opponent just made during the tournament. And I got a Spigorito, which is cool, but like I don't really care. I don't really care for it. I just need the rare candy meowscarada, which I ask and you shall receive. So at this point, I have 2 leaf capes, dude. Both my Pokemon can't get knocked out by Giratina. And I'm just kind of like thinking a moment, like, I probably should win this game, because I already got that initial Tapu Lele knockout, and I'll get this next one. So the reason I don't put an energy on meowscarada is because in case Tapu Lele did want to attack it, it would do only 20 damage instead of 40. I don't think it really would matter, because I think the to that attack plus the Greninja, if I don't draw an Erica, would just knock me out regardless with Giratina. But like, just a little bit of optimization, I guess, on my part. That doesn't really matter, but like in case of the game there, it didn't matter. You know, it's always smart to just do that. But they end up giant caping on the Giratina, which I'm like, oh man, now my meowscarada can't knock it out. So I'm like, they're probably gonna attack with Tapu Lele, Greninja Shuriken, my Decidueye to get the guaranteed knockout, and this, bro, I'm basically banking on just top decking an Erica. That is literally the only way I probably like guarantee win this game. Once again, top deck the Erica, my favorite card in the game for a reason. Always coming in clutch. We Erica up, and at this point, we already have 2 KOs, no matter what they put in. Also, the second Tapu Lele knockout doesn't really matter about the energy anymore. I'm like, okay, well, they can't knock me out. No matter what they put in, I attack, and they just get, I swap into meowscarada, I attack, and then I snipe them with Decidueye. And it's just GG's. They actually ended up putting Greninja in. Like I said, though, dude, it does not matter, because they can't swap out for Giratina. So I attack with meowscarada, and even if they Pokemon Center Lady, they're only banned 90 HP, and then my Decidueye can just snipe them. And then they Mars me. As soon as I saw the Mars, I was like, no, Cyrus, bro, that's just GG's. I win the game. And we simply just switch out, snipe the Greninja. They try swapping out, but I'm not a fool, bro. I'm not going to misplay. I'm not going to give you an extra turn. They concede, making us 5-0 in the tournament. I'm not sure if we're guaranteed top cut because it was the top 4, but like we were like the only person undefeated at this point. So I think even if I lost my next match, I probably still would have got like top 4, top cut. Who knows? Doesn't matter, bro. Let's go on to the next set. Anyways, for set 6, bro, I saw that we are facing a fire deck, and I was like, yeah, let's just GG's, bro. But we start going first, and we have Florgatso, meowscarada, Erica, Leaf Cape, and a Mars. I'm like low-key, bro. I think in this matchup specifically, I think the only better hand would have been going second if it were Candy meowscarada. So I was like, okay. They Pokeball. They have 5 cards in their hand. They're just putting an energy on Charmander. And they actually attack without placing that Pokeball down. So in my mind, I'm like, they have Rare Candy and Pokecom, and they're going for it, bro. I was like, yep. I can evolve in the Florgatso because we have the Leaf Cape, but they also wouldn't be able to knock me out if they evolved in the Charmeleon. I gotta Mars them. I got a Mars and pray. I literally have to pray that I don't see a rare candy, bro. Then I get attack in the Meowscarada and then hopefully just knock them out. And we manage the win. We don't see a Stoke Charizard, it's just a Charmeleon, and we have the Erica. Would have loved to use the Professor Research. Low key, I could have kind of forgot that I was going to evolve in the Meowscarada. So I would have got the more HP back. So I'm pretty sure even with the Erica, I would have actually lived with one hit. Maybe not. I'm pretty sure I would have. But that's whatever. I could just Professor Research next turn, but not like it really matters because I wasn't going to put the energy on anything. But I'll be just attacked, dude. And they Iono, and I was like, oh, I kind of wanted the Professor Research. I'm not going to lie. We get it back. And I get the Decidueye. I'm like, ooh, dude, what if I get a rally with a rare candy? And because we actually used that Erica before the Iono, which actually is actually a good thing in retrospect that I used the Erica first, because now the Charmander won't be able to KO me. A Pokeball, and I see a Spigorita. I was like, I kind of wanted the Rowlet, I'm not going to lie, but like it is what it is. I simply just use it. I get another Professor Research. I'm like, okay, dude, never mind, bro. I kind of like the Spigorita now that I have the Meowscarada. I just need a rare candy. Simply will just attack, and if they don't have a rare candy plus Stoke Charizard, because they only play one Charmeleon, I just win the game guaranteed. Unless they place on a Listen. They don't have it, bro. They just get seeds. I truly believe that Mars just won me the game. I'm gonna just go off that. Second game going first once again. This time we have Spigorito and the rare candy. It would have been godlike going second, but like it is what it is. But they have a Litten start, which is definitely way better for us because like I would rather deal with an Incineroar honestly than a Stoke Charizard. Plus they only have one copy of Incineroar in their deck. So the odds of them having that over a Stoke Charizard rare candy is like just way lower. Second Spigorito is nice in case like something happens to this one. And I put the Leaf Cape on just in case I do want to Erica up. And live in case they do go into an Incineroar. But they just attack me with Blitzen, put down a Charmander. I draw on the Dartrix, which would have been nice if I you know, had a Rowlet. But in this situation, because I had the Leaf Cape, and it, like for example, if they did want to rare candy into Incineroar, I would still live a hit. So I wanted to be greedy. They do have the red card. But I wanted to be greedy and basically draw something. They actually red carded me, bro. So I could have been cooked by that. I 100% could have been cooked. I get the rare candy back and a Florgato. So I was like, okay, well, you know what, dude? Kind of bad, but like at least we got some stuff back. And now we're guaranteed Rowlet and we have a rare candy. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. Like we lost the Meowscarada, which is definitely sucks, dude. But like I don't think it's like as bad. Because now I could just like set up my Meowscarada in the back and then set up a Decidueye, and then I could just kind of like sack the Spigorito if I really wanted to. So yeah, like you see me just setting up on it. It just makes the most sense. It just makes the most sense. I can swap in the Decidueye next turn and get the KO. Pray they don't have a rare candy. And I even get the Meowscarada if I really did want to go into the rare candy with the Spigorito. But obviously I don't think it's the right play. Yeah, so we get the Meowscarada off the search bar, which is definitely good because we have the Florgato. I think I said red card earlier, but they actually Iono, that's what it was. They used the red card now. I was like, damn, bro, I actually had a good hand. But I get the rare candy to the Decidueye back, which is just like a bet. I wanted the Meowscarada, but like, hope I can just draw into it. I get the Leaf Cape, which is nice too. In case they do have a Stoke Charizard, my Decidueye will be able to live a hit because they aren't playing Guzma. And even if a red, the max I could do is 190 damage, so I will like guarantee live a hit because I'm at full HP, which is nice. It gives me that extra hit. I can live to be able to hopefully draw into the Meowscarada and like finish it off. But yeah, I mean, we just swap in, dude, because we kind of have to. And like we can't just like let them just keep doing stuff. And then, like I said, we're just basically praying for no rare candy. And they have the rare candy. What a surprise! The Charizard deck finally has a rare candy. I mean, they did break the first game, so I will give them that. But we have the Leaf Cape and we have the Giovanni just for that additional 10 damage. If it really did come down to it, I don't think it really does in this matchup, but it could. But at this point, like it's like either draw a Meowscarada or just kind of like lose. That's like literally what it is. I have 8 cards left, 2 Professor Research. So I'm like, okay, half my deck is an Erica. Or not an Erica, but a Meowscarada. So I'm like feeling pretty good. I mean, dude, worst case scenario, I'll just swap out for the Spigorito and sack it. Like that's like literally the worst case scenario. I just use the Giovanni now because I'm like, well, if I draw a Professor Research, I'm going to want to use the Professor Research. So let's just Geo now for the additional damage. Not like it really matters at the end of the day, but... And like I said, dude, I'm in a pretty fine position. We can live one hit. All comes down to drawing the Meowscarada. Charmeleon, don't really mind it. They have the Lily. I swear Stoke Charizard players always have a Lily in their hand. I swear to God, they just always have one. But they attack me. Shout out the Leaf Cape, bro. Greatest item ever. Top deck the Meowscarada. And honestly, I was like, okay, Let me swap out the Decidueye, attack with Meowscarada. In case they try to swap out for some reason, get like another Lily, I can just snipe them with Decidueye. I think either way, or if like they had a second Charizard, because they did have the thing, I think I still would have been fine anyways, because that second Charizard would have to take a turn to you know, charge up. Then I could just attack with Meowscarada. But like this was just like the guaranteed victory, which is just why I did that. And you know, obviously we already won the first game, so the set 2 was surprisingly fast for honestly a matchup I really don't like. I actually don't like facing Stoke Charizard. But like I said, dude, we have the Decidueye. There's just nothing they could do. They just snipe, they just concede. And that gets us to 6-0 in the tournament, dude. So yeah, we made top cut going undefeated. Obviously we lost some rounds in the sets, but like set wise, we were undefeated. Once again, it's that bird that I hate, man. And I'm gonna be so real, I'm not looking forward to this matchup, bro. I was not looking forward. We have a Spiggeritzo, double Meowscarada lead, and I see that Shaman in the active spot. I'm like, dude, let me get the rare candy, top deck the rare candy, going second too. This Shaman is getting cooked, bro. Although I will be honest, I don't have anything else, so I'm like basically praying for like a basic in this situation. Which I do get a second Spiggeritzo, which is very nice because I do have the Florgatzo and, you know, both the other Meowscaradas. And my opponent, for once, no hand disruption, no Mars, no Iono. I was like, okay, dude. They didn't evolve into the Greninja. And I'm like, I need to take the Shaman KO. I need to just take it immediately because I want to start going on the offensive. Once I play, if I play too passive, they could possibly get into the Greninjas. They could charge up Giratina, and I can't let my Meowscarada get knocked out by the Giratina with the Greninja's help. They use the giant cape actually on the Giratina instead of letting the Froakie live one more turn. I think I understand why, because, you know, if I just knock out the Froakie and I don't have anything else, they could just win the game. But unfortunately for them, I have the Florgatzo, I have the second Meowscarada, so I'm basically chilling, bro. I'm literally just chilling because I got this KO. Giratina is cooked. Giratina is not going to be able to do anything for me. And I have the Mars, and they have 5 cards in their hand, so I'm like, I might as well just Mars, dude, because why not? Like, there's really no downside to it. So I simply just do that, and I basically pray. I'm like, dude, they didn't have anything, so I didn't really need the Mars, but they had 5 cards, so like, I don't know, man. They could have had like probably shouldn't have Mars, to be honest, because they didn't use anything. But I was like thinking, I'm like, well, they're probably cooked either way, dude. I mean, they can't one-shot my I can't one-shot my Meowscarada. I have two Meowscaradas now. Like, I should just be guaranteed the win, plus the Erica in case I need it. But they placed on Froakie, and I'm like, dude, there's no shot my Mars just gave them a Greninja. Then it probably just gave them a Greninja. I get the Leaf Cape, though, and I have the Meowscarada, so I'm like, okay, at least the second Meowscarada cannot get guaranteed knocked out by the thing. And I have the Erica to prevent them from being able to KO me with a Water Shuriken. So that's the play I'm gonna do. I'm not sure. I think I wait to put the Leaf Cape on until next turn because they do have the No, I remember now. I put the Leaf Cape on the active one in case they swapped out in the Greninja. They wouldn't be able to get the KO. So I saved it for next turn in case they have a Guzma. But I was like, okay, I need to put it on the active one because it is a possibility where Mars literally could have gave them that. And obviously we would want to live. They could Guzma me at the end of the day, but that would mean they would need 3 cards in their hand. They would need the Rare Candy, Greninja, plus the Guzma. And in my mind, I was like, it's the safer play just to do this. So that's just what I did. Although, like I said, it would have been nice to have it on the Meowscarada in the back. The Greninja ping my Meowscarada in the back, which I'm not happy for. And they actually have the Guzma, but they have the God combo. I'm like, okay. Not what I want to see. Not what I want to see. But at the same time, I don't see Shaman. I don't know if they have a healing card. I could just knock out this Greninja in 2 hits. And that's basically what I'm banking on. Plus, if they do try to swap it to an Oricorio, I do have the Giovanni. So even if they get the Shaman, but they get no healing, I would still be able to knock out this Greninja in the next 2 turns. Then I just top deck the Rowlet, dude. So I'm like, bet. Because now I can just switch in and hopefully get in the Decidueye at some point. I actually misplay here and I used the Giovanni just to use it. I don't know why. I was like, oh, I probably won this game anyways. Definitely was a misplay. 100% a misplay. Because they swap in the Oricorio, I could have just won right now. I literally could have just won right now, but they placed that. I wasted my Geo. I was like, dude, please don't let me lose this game because I misplay. At the same time, I just need to get into my Decidueye, which I do get into the Decidueye. I do grab the Decidueye. And unless they had like an ear, obviously they can't. Now they're in a situation where like their Greninja could come in Cyrus in my Dartrix, but then they can't use something like an Irida to heal up on my Meowscarada to get the KO. So they kind of just like checkmated at this point because they don't have any hand disruption. So I misplayed with the Giovanni. 100% was a misplay, but at the end of the day, I ended up actually finding the Decidueye, and I still win the game because I just sniped the Giratina in the back left. Eventually, when they end their turn, which they just go in the Giratina. Which, you know, their thought process is definitely, whoa, if they don't have a Decidueye, I just attack twice and I win the game. That is definitely their thought process. Could also win on the Greninja, but like they would have been cooked, you know, if I had. But they attack me. Also, Giovanni would have been nice here because it would have let my Dartrix actually knock out this Giratina. So that using that Geo was a misplay. I just wanted to point that out because it's always important to identify the misplays. I have the Decidueye anyways, doesn't matter. So we're now in top 4 in my first like top cut in a minute because I haven't played tournaments like a good 3 months, and like the last tournament where it's pretty bad, or I think 3 months, I meant like 3 weeks. But so we're starting first with Rowlet, and they already have Shaman on the field, which means my Rowlet is completely useless. Even if I did, like, for example, go into Decidueye, like with a rare candy and like next 2 turns, obviously I have the Dartrix, I wouldn't need the rare candy, but like that means like my snipe is useless even if they don't have a healing card. And I'm just gonna save you guys time. As you can see here, they have no KOs, and they had enough, like they also bricked with only getting electric energy because they have a Greninja, but they were able to start up a Giratina and I couldn't draw a single Pokeball or a Spigarizo. So literally there's nothing I could have done, and they literally have no hand disruption. So I literally just got super unlucky. I had 1 Professor Research and that was it, bro. So I just got super unlucky in the second game. I got an auto loss. So there's really no point in showcasing me just not doing anything for 4 turns and then just setting up a Giratina, which is why I just edited it out. But we move on to the 3rd game, and we are going first. And I see Oricorio in the active spot, and I was like, not really what I wanted to see, bro. But I have Meowscarada, so hopefully if I can just get the Leaf Cape. Plus I got the Geo, so that's like pretty good. I have the Leaf Cape, and I kind of just wanted to put it on the Spigarizo now because I feel like I'm going to need it. Because, like, for example, in the next 2 turns, like, if they can go in the Greninja or Oricorio, they would just be able to knock me out. So I wanted the Leaf Cape in case they do that on this turn or on the next turn. And I still don't have anything, bro. I still don't have a single point. I'm like, dude, please don't let me break like last game, man. Because the last game was just super disappointing. Just not being able to play the game. And I get the other Spigarizo, which is nice. They do have a rare candy and they go in the Greninja. And I'm not gonna lie to you, at this point I'm like, I'm kind of so far behind. I don't know if I could win this one, dude, unless I get like some amazing top decks with like a Professor Research god, like a god like Professor Research, and like a rare candy Rowlet. Like that's like the only solution I'm thinking of. I just draw another Meowscarada, bro, so I have no rare candy still. I have the Erica to prevent like a Greninja Shuriken from knocking me out, but like, you know, I would rather not have to waste that if possible because they still do get the KO. But essentially, I'm gonna be real, bro, because we already know I lost. I bricked insanely hard the last 2 matches. So I feel like I had a phenomenal run all the way up to top cuts, and I unfortunately had a good first game. Like the first game was very competitive, bro. Like me and my opponent were both playing the game. The second and the third game, unfortunately, my opponent just played a solo player game, and I couldn't do anything. That's just simple as it is, bro. And that's just how card games are sometimes. I was definitely super salty when it first happened last night. At the end of the day, dude, still getting 3rd place. I'll take it, man. I'll take it. I'll settle for it. So you can see I get Florgasso, by the way, off that last search, and I get the Leaf Cape. So like, I'm still trying because like at any moment, like a Press Research Rowlet in the rare candy can do something. But in my mind, I'm like, I'm cooked, dude. I'm like literally cooked because even if I do go into Decidueye, they have 2 Oricorios. The Oricorios will just wall me off. Like literally, there's nothing I could do about that second Oricorio as soon as my Meowscarada goes down. And they could simply just like switch in the Greninja, which, you know, they don't need to do. But they attacked me. I draw Dartrix, so I'm not. This is, by the way, still no Pokeballs in 2 games. Still no Pokeballs in the second Professor Research. So I Erica up, dude. Like I'm trying. I will get this Oricorio knockout. I was kind of banking on them putting the other Oricorio in. I'm gonna be so real, and then being able to one shot, and then eventually going into my Rowlet. That was like the scenario I was hoping for. But I knock out this Oricorio. and they just go in the Greninja, and I just get a rare candy, and at this point there's just nothing I could do. Like, I simply just went 2 games without drawing a Pokeball, which is the card you need to start a game with. Very unfortunate. I don't mind losing if the games are competitive, bro, but when you really just have 2 games like that where you just basically can't play the game, because like my Spigaristo, my first one just died because I couldn't draw a rare candy or a Pokeball, or even just like a Florgato or something. But it was just depressing, especially that second game. The third game, at least I could play a little bit. I just simply couldn't get the right cards, and my opponent technically didn't get the Giratina either. But that second game where I just had a 1 Rowlet and I couldn't get a single second Professor Research or a second basic off just drawing it, or a Pokeball, definitely depressing just to have an auto loss game where you just can't do anything about it. Because I was feeling pretty good, bro. I feel like I was actually playing very good. I really like this list that I made. But at the end of the day, bro, it is what it is. Can't change the game, bro. It's a card game at the end of the day, and a very inconsistent card game, especially for the season, bro. The season is very luck defiant. Like, there is definitely still skill in the game, but the rare candy definitely, low-key, sometimes it comes down to who gets the rare candy first. I'm going to be 100% honest, and this comes from someone who's playing all the rare candy decks. There's been so many times I've won simply just from getting the rare candy first before my opponents, or because I go second and they go first. Anyways, I think that does it for the tournament run video. I don't want to make this video too long, as it's already super long because there's a lot of game 3 sets. And peace out, have a lovely day as always, and low-key sub because I'm super close to 800, man. Please.